This is your boy Calvin TILOKEE, the star of Hotel Memes at Ref Problems and also host of MIDLIFE Crisis Podcast. I'm here with the Wolf and Unicorn podcast. We talked about hospitality, we talked about memes, social media, and keeping it positive and pivoting during COVID.
Yo.
Yachty, what's up?
What's going on? How'd you like my intro?
Yeah, it's getting better.
Okay,
Slowly but surely,
right.
I'm hearing the formation of a real intro coming in.
I'm projecting better.
How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic today. I'm having like the best day ever.
Really? You've been in meetings all day. I haven't seen you. Is that why it's so great today?
No. I had a really busy day today. So I woke up like, all right, I'm going to have a busy day. And usually I'm like anxious about it. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be a good day. So I had like the craziest day, but I got a ton of shit done. Did all my meetings. So I'm feeling really good right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. And somebody, made dinner for me. So I'm feeling a little
Yeah,
spoiled.
I had to eat, kind of put me in a corner here.
I was in meetings. But yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm pretty good. I didn't sleep well over the last few days, but today I took a monster nap.
Yeah.
Even the robot barely woke me up. Our Roomba is our robot, by the way. Jeffrey, we call him.
Yeah.
I slept through everything. I got a good hour and a half, and just had a good day today. Just relaxed. Nothing too crazy. Work was a little busy, but got through it.
Nice.
But anyway, we got a very special guest today. As you know, all of our guests are very special. We've got Calvin TILOKEE here. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what you do and what you got going on, your background?
All right. Well, as mentioned, my name is Calvin TILOKEE. I have a long background in the hospitality industry, almost 20 years. So I'm definitely dating myself for your listeners out there. But the reason I'm mainly on this podcast and other things I'm doing is I formed a pretty big meme page called Ref Problems on Instagram. I've got one of the biggest hospitality pages and presences out there. And I've turned that into a social media management company, as well as my own podcast called MIDLIFE Crisis. So doing a lot of talking these days, a lot of memeing, a lot of social media. Yeah. But yeah, that's it in a gist.
So what is your podcast about?
So our podcast is just me and my two best friends, one from high school and one from college. Again, we call it MIDLIFE Crisis because we're all about that age. We're in that, early 40s. And basically, we talk about everything, man. I just kind of look at it as just real talk. And I say, with guys of a certain age. But I think it's pretty relatable to everybody. We talk about everything. And I think in a nutshell, what I want people to leave with, it's like a good comedy show, right? We quote Chris Rock a lot, and Chris has always been one of my favorite comedians because you're going to laugh, but you get real life lessons when you're done with one of his shows. And I think any good comedian does that. So that was been my vision for it. We talk about everything. We spoke to Muhammad Ali's daughter in this episode coming out this week. We had an episode a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine who's gay and he does drag, and we just really wanted to open that space for conversation. Because one of the things that I've noticed and one of the things that bothers me about society now is I think people shut down too quick. We shut each other down too quick when we don't agree exactly, and we're not in lockstep with everything that this person does. And I try to open and have those type of conversations where we can say, for example, I don't get drag culture. I don't get the appeal of it for heterosexual people to sit there and watch it. I don't get it. That doesn't mean I'm judging, and I should be free to ask that question without me being judged. Right. And I think we've gone, not that PC is a bad term, but I think we've gone so far that way that people are afraid to ask questions. And
I kind of do feel PC is becoming a bad thing. Well, at least over the last few years, I feel like, if I compliment somebody on something, I feel this weird urge to apologize to the people that weren't included in that
Yeah.
grouping. And it's just getting weird. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like society's become so black and white, right? Where if you like one thing, then people assume you automatically hate the other thing.
Right.
And life just isn't like that. Life is mostly gray. You know, nobody's really polarized. And again, to quote Chris Rock, like no sane person is one thing all the time. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Right.
you got some shit you're liberal about, you got some shit you're conservative about.
Right.
You know, and that's most people. You know, except you, Kev. You gotta be careful. Like when Yachty asks you about, hey, do you like this dress or this dress? You know, if you like that dress, that automatically means that you hate the
Right.
other one. You gotta
Do you
explain
hate the
why.
other
So have
one?
your
It's
answer
like,
Yeah.
ready.
in this house we love everything. You know, just,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
love it all.
Like, I like both. You should put them both on.
Put them
It
both
ain't that
on.
hot.
You know.
It ain't that hot. You can wear them both.
No, yeah, but I totally get what you're saying, and like I completely understand. I've been having this same challenge within myself recently, where I'm just like, I'm a person with many layers. Like I like a lot of things, and I do go to an extreme with certain things, but that doesn't mean that I'm not open to hearing the other side. And I feel like automatically people put you in this like, all right, she's a feminist, she's this, like don't bring this up around her because she's gonna explode, and that's not the case. And I feel like, with your podcast, I've gotten that feel where like you're coming to the table just to hear what people gotta say, like not to debate or argue about it, but just listen and ask questions that otherwise other people would be afraid to ask, like with the episode that you had with your friend who's doing drag. I really enjoyed the questions and how, number one, how simple the questions were, straightforward, and just the answers too, because your friend was like, listen man, like sometimes we don't know, like it's not like come to me because I have all the answers. You're coming to a person for their specific like experiences in life. So I really enjoyed that.
Right.
But the question that I have is, with your meme page, how does that kind of like help push certain opinions, or like via jokes? Like how do you kind of translate your opinions and your thoughts like via jokes? Like, if does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said at the top, I think any good comedy, and I'm nowhere trying to put myself in the stratosphere of, Chris Rock and the rest of these guys, but I think comedians and people who make jokes in general, you're trying to send a point, right? And with a lot of them, and I think, ultimately, I want people to stop being so serious about everything. And I think what I try to convey there is always, and any social media person will tell you, you want to build a community, right? And that's what I've always set out to do there. The goal for that page has always been, to bring hospitality people from around the world together. We're all dealing with the same stuff, and I don't care if your hotel is in New York City or Bangkok. We're dealing with the same guest, the same boss. Revenue and sales are having the same beefs. you know, Housekeeping is going to knock on your door before 10 a.m. when you're trying to sleep. It's all the same stuff. And I just wanted to create this kind of space where we could have fun with those things and take the stress out of those situations. And, what gets me is sometimes people get offended by memes because, that's the world we live in now. And people get offended by jokes, but it's like, I make a joke about having to walk a guest. That's what we use in the industry, walk. That's like when you get relocated. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. You show up to a hotel, you had a reservation, and they tell you, well, we have to send you somewhere else, right?
Right.
I joke about that kind of stuff all the time. People don't get bothered. I made a joke using a picture from the storming of the Capitol building, and some people lost their minds. And it's like, hold on, the storming of the Capitol building for 99% of the population didn't really affect you. It bothered you to see it, but you still had dinner, you still went to bed and hugged your family, and it didn't affect you. When a guest is standing in front of you and you're telling them that they got to go somewhere else, that's real stress in your life. You're okay with laughing at that, but you're not okay with laughing at the other.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the message I try to get across with a lot of them is like, stop being so butthurt by everything.
Right.
Like everything don't got to be that serious. Just have a good time.
Did you ever think that your meme page would be, what it is now, or did you just do it for fun in the beginning?
Yeah, I think with anything that kind of gets big is in the beginning it's just fun, right? You're doing it because I enjoy it. I still enjoy it. I just like cracking jokes, which you guys are here on my show. We just like to have a good time. And yeah, it's kind of in between because when I started it, it's hard to envision having 17,000 followers when you've got six, you know. But at the same time, I know anything that I really put myself in, I'm looking to be as good as I can at it. And
Right.
again, I looked at to say, hey, listen, if I got one person from every hotel on the planet, that's a lot of people,
Right.
And but that's not to say, I mean, there's certain situations that have happened where even like now where I know it's a pretty big page and it's pretty popular, I'm like, that didn't just actually happen, did it? you know, I'll tell you a quick story. We were in Scotland in October 2019 before the world ended, and you
Yeah.
couldn't you
Right.
couldn't travel anymore. We we get to Scotland, and this was after spending a night in London. We took the train, a 5-hour train ride up to this resort in the middle of the Scottish Highlands, and I mean this couldn't be more remote, right? So we get in, we check into our room, drop off our bags. We're just going to grab a quick bite before we're going to get
Mm-hmm.
some rest. We're sitting in the restaurant, and this girl comes in a front desk uniform, and she makes a beeline to our desk, to our table, looks at my wife, looks at me, and goes, "Mr. Ref Problems?"
Oh
And
my
Really?
god.
I started looking around like this has got to be some kind of setup. This is a joke, right? Turns out she's a huge fan of my page, and
Really?
yeah, in the middle of Scotland, and she's originally
Right.
from Austria, and I'm like, I didn't even think that I had fans here. Like, I could, I've seen that happened to me in Vegas. We go to a
Right.
big industry conference. You kind of expect that, a lot of people are in the industry, and you figure you bump into somebody, but I'm all the way across the pond, as they say,
Right. Right.
way up there, not even in a big city like London or something. It's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's I mean, let me just give you guys a little bit. I know Cal for maybe 10, 15 years now.
Right.
Our brothers
Yeah.
are good friends, and of course, guy code is we have to be good friends as well, without a doubt. So,
course.
but we've been in a group chat for a while, and you never even mentioned the I didn't even know you had another page.
I showed it to him.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that's
Oh,
Cal.
yeah?
I was like, did you know that Cal is like famous online?
I was like, wait, he has another page. I didn't even know. I was like, not just another page, a fucking, huge fucking page.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is that also. So that same October, I had a birthday party in the city. That turned 40 in 2019. So I was like, I got to do something, right? So Steve, my friend, who's also on my podcast, the guy known since high school, he came out and he knew a little bit about the page, right? His wife had no clue.
Yeah.
So they come out, and I had probably 60, 80 people on the Mondrian rooftop in New York that pretty much all through Instagram. I just put an invite on Instagram and said, hey, yo, come through, grab some drinks, whatever. Right. So we had a good turnout. The end of the night, she comes up to me and goes, I had no idea. Steve told me that, he's like, where do you know all these people? And he's like, Instagram. And she's like, well, he has like 300 followers. And he goes, no, look at this page. And at that point, I had maybe like 14,000. She was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I had no clue. You know?
Yeah. So were you trying to keep it a secret, or or was it just it never came up?
For a while I kept it secret because of the nature of the jokes. People thought that they all happened in my hotel.
Right.
So I try to, and I'll joke on salespeople, I'll joke on GMs and whatever. So I don't want anybody thinking that what I'm joking about is reflective of the place I'm at that day. So I had to be kind of careful in the beginning. I think with that, it was just, we were just in there talking about ball, Warzone, whatever it was. So
Yeah.
it just would have been free to be like, hey, yeah, I got a meme page, check it out. You know?
Just throw a little ad in there every now and then.
Right.
like
Yeah,
every,
exactly,
Every couple
exactly,
days, like,
Right,
Yeah,
like sharing.
I get kicked like, oh, Cal spamming.
Right. He'll be the guy sharing his own jokes in the group chat. Like, this one's funny, guys.
This one's great. This one's
Exactly.
great.
Like, yo, y'all should see this. This is hilarious. Yo, who made that? I don't know. I heard that cat is funny though.
No. I get what you're saying. I just, I would love to support my bro, of course. I just didn't know it was you until she showed me the page.
I appreciate it.
So you're full time working on your own business now. Is that right?
Yeah, I am. Ever since COVID hit, I lost my position within the industry. This was about last April, and like a lot of others, right? And this has always been the end game for me. I've had some clients on the side for a couple of years, and I saw an opportunity within the industry. Hotels really don't utilize social media to its full extent. They're not using it as a true revenue generating opportunity. And you build up an audience there. They should be guests. They should be coming through the building. And people are still so focused on how many followers you have, but their engagement is non-existent. The page is stale. It's the same old picture of the bedroom, of the lobby, a drink at the bar. Every hotel posts the same stuff. If it's in a warm location, it's a girl in a bikini by the pool. Like, we've all seen it, right? And then you have these agencies that charge an arm and a leg to post that stuff.
Right.
And nobody on the agency side really understands hotels either, and how to speak that language. And I felt I do both, right? I know hotels. I have a long history, and I have an aptitude for social media. So my thing was, I'm going to start putting this together and become an agency for hotels. Obviously, COVID happened, and which on the positive side gave me the time to get everything off the ground. Revamp the website, map out my business plan, really focusing on what I wanted to do. But at the same time, now approaching hotels, they don't have money for that, right? So it's forced me outside of the hospitality industry, which is, in the long run, is a good thing. This way I don't get pigeonholed as somebody who can only do hotels. I think if you know social media and the strategies and how to tell a story, I think that's really ultimately that's the underlining of everything I do. I think that's why I really enjoy doing the podcast and social media, and the marketing side of it is you're telling a story. I don't care what hotel it is. It could be the fancy 5-star, in New York City, or it could be an airport hotel, in near O'Hare in Chicago. Everybody has a story. Every hotel has a personality. And again, from the actual hospitality employee side, doing what I do in revenue management, it will take even the most seasoned person about 6 months to get the personality of any property. Right. Because every hotel has an individual personality and trends and how things work. And that's what you're conveying on social media, because you have individual people, individual guests, and I think that's really what you're trying to get at with the social is how do we put your unique story out there for people to be attracted to it. And real quick, I'll end this part with this is, I don't know if you guys heard about this guy who worked for Sherwin-Williams, the paint company. This is a few months ago. This guy started a TikTok mixing paint, and he got them over, I think, 1.5 million followers on his page, and went to Sherwin-Williams and said, hey, he put a whole marketing plan together. This is how you can use social media to promote your product. They fired him.
What?
They fired him.
Wait, I was waiting for a happy ending.
He got fired for mixing paint on the job. Now, he bought all the paint, right? He used his employee discount to buy this paint, so he wasn't stealing it or anything. But when things were slow, right. He shot a quick video, and I mean, people really got interested in it. He did cool stuff, like he put some blueberries in a net and like put it in the paint, mixed it up, so you had like this blueberry colored paint come out. And people, I mean, he made paint interesting, right? So that's, the reason I tell that story is that when people say, oh, our hotel is just, the Holiday Inn, it's nothing special. Don't give me that. I mean, if a guy could make paint fun, and interesting. You don't tell me your Holiday Inn doesn't have interesting, fun people that work there. And
Right.
that's the big thing about hotels is when you show up, it's the hospitality. It's not you're not
Mm-hmm.
going just for a room. You want to feel an experience. And if you promote somebody that works at the front desk, you go check in now. You've seen that person, like, hey, you instantly have a connection
Right.
with somebody there, and that's what it's all about.
And
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. No, I just like how did I mean you were the man in the hotel. That's why I mean you always I was thinking you like the guy. Like how do you let the guy go? Like how did that decision
Yeah.
go? Like how did they break it down to you? Do you get like a severance pack because you were like
He
a
wants to
man?
know
I'm
details.
just like like any hotel I always hit you up anytime, like, anything with a hotel. I remember when I was throwing parties, I was like hitting you up, like, oh, can I use one of your rooms or whatever? But like,
Yeah,
how did how did they let you go? I mean, you're the man, you're the guy.
Well, you know what? I haven't told this story on air yet, so this would be this. You're getting an exclusive.
We do this. We do
Exclusive.
this
Yeah.
quite
You're
often.
getting
We
exclusive.
dig.
It was a lesson in managing relationships. So I'll try to tell as short as possible.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was only at the time I got let go. I was only one of two people in my role as a director of revenue that was furloughed and then subsequently laid off. The hotel I worked at was very small. It was owned by two guys. It wasn't part of any larger brand like a Marriott or Hilton. So it was just two guys who made their money in other industries and just kind of ran a hotel. They started, hey, we're going to open a hotel, right? So I say that to say they didn't really understand the business, and it was run in a lot of ways like a mom and pop. Like a lot of this decisions that were made were not with long-term vision in mind. The person that I had replaced at that hotel had a very close personal relationship with the owners. She was married to a guy who was really tight with a guy who was really tight with them. So it was like this really tight knit circle kind of thing. And I never got. I was filling some big shoes, put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to make myself sound like a victim. I didn't get a fair shot, but it was, that's, you can't really compete with that.
Yeah.
So long story short, I was furloughed, let go, and then they brought that person back. Now, what I would say the lesson in here for me was the funny thing. Last February, right before everything ended, I went to Mexico. We went to Punta Mita, and we were staying at the St. Regis. And I'm on the beach, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's one of the owners. Like, no joke, that was one of the owners of the hotel. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, do I say something? Do I walk by like I didn't see him? And I was like, nah, all right, like, go say something, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I said hello, but I left it at that. And looking back at it, that was a great opportunity to be like, hey, let's go grab a margarita. I just want to talk shop with you for a few minutes and develop a relationship.
Right.
And I didn't do a good enough job of that. Like when they came through the building on a weekly, I didn't take the initiative to go up to them and say, hey, listen, this is what I've worked on and this is what we're doing, and kind of put myself in front of my work.
Right.
I allowed other people to do that, and they didn't do that, and they took credit for my work.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And at least I couldn't back up things that were in their mind weren't going right. I couldn't back it up and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. This is the meetings I've had this week. This is the goal. In other hotels, I've naturally had that opportunity because you'd have a monthly meeting or a quarterly meeting sitting in front of the owners. They didn't do those things. So my only opportunity was to kind of like jump in front of them, which I didn't. And
Right.
that's a lesson for me where it's like, you've got to be more aggressive and you've got to be willing to put yourself in front. Like people aren't going to come seek you out,
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, speaking of like hospitality, you helped, you helped me get my first job in New York in hospitality. So I want to take this moment to officially thank you.
You are very welcome. Very welcome.
We were We were both furloughed around the same time.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know you were.
Yeah.
so here we are. So yeah, kind of like
Hotel problem. There's a
hotel
meme in
problem,
there
right.
somewhere, Cal. I don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Right.
you gotta-
Now, yes, that Spider-Man meme.
yeah. I was thinking that.
Yep, both got furloughed around the same
We got furloughed at
time.
the same time.
Yep,
Yeah, you
but
know what? But us and thousands of others, and
yeah,
that's something that I try to put out there on Ref Problems. Yeah, I was doing a lot of lives in the beginning to, connect with people, and I did a live about getting furloughed. I want people to know I'm not special, right? Like this could happen to anybody, and
yeah,
I think hearing it from somebody that they interact with every day, hopefully sent the message, and as much as logically it's not just you, it's hard not to feel that way sometimes when you're
Right.
struggling, and those bills are coming in, and it's like, oh man, when am I going to get another job? you know it's a lot of us out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
Time.
you
Weird time.
held me down.
Daddy gotta come through, take care of the baby. No, yeah, definitely a rough time for a lot of people, and I think
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
last few episodes have been all about how people have pivoted during these times and found their passion or found their love, and so we use these stories for motivation, and for our listeners, it's for motivation for them as well. So appreciate you. You want to plug your sites, podcasts, links? Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, well, of course you can find me on Ref Problems. If you work in hotels, ever stayed at a hotel, ever known anybody who walked past a hotel, give me a follow. You'll probably appreciate most of the humor. Um, Catch me on Midlife Crisis Podcast. We're out everywhere you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, all that good stuff. And if you're looking for social media marketing or advertising, RefPar Media is the name of my umbrella company for where I keep all of that stuff underneath. So I
Right.
got a
And
travel
we'll-
page and other stuff too, but
Yeah,
How,
well,
That's a few at a time.
how do you keep up, bro? On
Right.
these pages.
It is a lot. I have 5 brands of my own,
Yeah.
and about
Do you manage them all
4.
yourself, or do you have like somebody that helps you?
No, I do them all myself now. Right now, and I use.
Yeah, we just do the one page, and we're just like,
I know. It's crazy.
No, it's a lot. I'll be honest. You kind of gotta do. It's like Equalizer. You go in seasons. Like right now, this
Yeah.
page you want to do more of this, and
Right, right.
I can't. I'm not going to pretend like all my brands are seeing equal
Right.
levels right now. But yeah, going back to the point Yadi made earlier, it's we're all very diverse. Like I'm not just one thing.
Right.
Which is why when I started my podcast, I didn't want to do a hospitality podcast. Like I can do and talk about so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the break room, you're not just talking about work. When you go out for happy hour, you're talking about sports, life, politics,
Right.
whatever. So I try to be diverse and talk about all those different things, and having a lot of fun.
yeah, we ran into something similar when we were like rebranding our podcast,
Yeah.
because we met with like a consultant, and they were like,
Okay.
oh, you need to lock in and be focused on one topic, or do this, do that. She had some good points, but a lot of it was like, I don't. This is what we do. We want to talk to as
Right.
many people as we can. We want to talk to people we like what they're doing. If we find you interesting, we want to talk to you. I don't want to limit ourselves to one area and one category just because somebody said, "Oh yeah, this one."
Yeah,
opinion."
and that's
Yeah.
her opinion. She doesn't know. Like our audience, this started as like us just having fun talking and kind of like our therapy. Our audience was like our friends, our immediate friends and family, and then it grew to other people, and people just fuck with it. People
Yeah.
like it. So it's like.
Yeah.
having a good time.
Why limit ourselves? And I like as the brand grows, you try to like remind yourself that it's like no, I got here doing this.
Right.
There's no need to like
Right.
switch it up.
No,
you
we
know?
made some tweaks here and there, but
Yeah, but not switch up the whole
right.
thing.
She wanted us to change the name and then do this.
Like,
I'm like,
no.
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 Yeah. No, like you said, I mean, there's something to it. I mean, what they will tell you is you want to find your niche.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, going back to this guy with paint, right? Like he literally just posted videos of him mixing paint every day, and he found his lane and he hammered at it, and he grew really quickly. If you have something, that one thing that you're into like that, then so be it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched. Did you guys watch the Britney Spears documentary?
I
Oh,
didn't see
not
it yet.
yet.
You haven't watched it yet. Well, there's a whole podcast breaking down her Instagram. All they do
Wow.
is talk about her Instagram post. I mean, talk about breaking it down. Like, ooh, what does she
One,
mean by this word or
right?
that hashtag? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But if you could talk about that every week
right,
and not
Right.
get bored, more power to you. I
right.
can't do that.
No,
You
same
know,
here.
I got too many opinions on too many things.
Yeah.
And I'm more like I just want to learn everybody's story. If I find it interesting, I want to hear it. I want to know how you got to where you are. I want to know what you're working on now. What's
Right.
next? So I just can't imagine just us just doing one topic. And,
Yeah,
and,
no.
it's cool to be niche, but it's just not for us.
Right.
Right.
And we talk to each other every day.
Right.
We live together,
Right,
you
right,
know?
yeah.
So when we come on here, we want to, give something a little extra to our listeners.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cal,
Yeah.
you are, built this crazy social media page, and you're doing this for, business now. Give us a couple tips that, social people who managing a page or who have a business who want to get into social media. What can they do to kind of build that audience and kind of start off?
Well, I think we just really touched on it. You want to be authentic. It's the first thing I'll tell people is like figure out what your passion is, what you can talk about all the time, what you really want to do. And because there is going to be a point in time where it's a grind and it's not always fun. I mean, when I grew, and I'm a little bit of an exception because I knew early on, I just had a lot of fun doing it. But
Yeah.
when I challenged myself, with the year I really grew was 2018. I went from 5K at the beginning of that year to 11 by the end of the year, and I just challenged myself to post twice a day,
Yeah.
and I was able to do it. I was posting twice a day, almost every single day, at least
Mm-hmm.
during the week, and you know the page blew up. And if you can't find something like that you can talk about constantly, or something, you find that lane that you're having fun with and you can just naturally do it. That's the place to start. A lot of people want to start off, and I would say this, that if your end goal is to be an influencer, don't even start.
Right.
That shouldn't be the end goal. The goal has to be, I want to talk about something I'm passionate about. I want to provide
Right.
value to somebody in some kind of way. And it could be anything. If you're into comic books, then break down a comic book every day. Wolverine's my favorite character, here's why. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it has to be something that you're you're passionate about, you can have fun with, something that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to post that day whether people like it or not. And if that's the other thing, don't, you're not posting for likes, and people say that all the time. And
Right.
it's like, as at where I'm at, when I post something, I do look at the likes, but I want to see, well, was that funny or not?
Right.
I'm not worried about if how many it got from my own self.
Right.
Because if 40 people liked it, 40 people got a smile that day. you
Yeah.
know I know it sounds a little cliche or whatever, but again, the whole purpose of me making this page was to break through that stress and break through the monotony of working in industry every day, because we get beat down. We deal with
Right.
the public.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's like if you were scrolling through my page on your lunch break and saw something that made you laugh, I did my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of Greg, who used to be our co-host, who said, "I'm not an influencer, nor do I want to be one." When I
Right.
I tried to tell him to edit his bio on Instagram. I'm like, "Hey, here's the link. You can add it. This is our link tree. You're a co-host, so you should have the link to your podcast on your bio." And he came at me crazy.
I think Papa G was just having a bad day that day.
He was like, "I do not want to be an influencer." I'm like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Yeah, I was caught off guard too. I was like, "Whoa, bro, we're just trying to promote the pod, bro."
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. I feel like with me, like, we have our Wolf and Unicorn brand, but then like we also have our individual, like, kind of niche, like you said, like our audience that follows like I have people who follow me for coffee content, I have people who follow me for whatever stuff that I share. And I was a while ago kind of caught up in that, like, not like I want to be an influencer, but like, all right, kind of following the steps of other people who have similar pages. And then I realized, why am I doing this? Like, this is not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. Like we do vlogs and stuff for fun, but this is not what I want my job to be. So I had to pull myself back and like start having fun with it. Like just completely having fun, like not thinking too much about the type of content, the quality of the content, you know, how many times I'm posting and the hashtags and all this, and just doing it for fun. And that's when, like, you know, my coffee series was created, and like all this fun stuff that I'm doing, and it's amazing. Like, I'm having a blast doing it, and people like it. So win-win.
Exactly. It has to be fun, you know. And it's easy to get caught up in that. I mean, I think anytime something starts growing, you know, you want to hit a home run every time, right? You know, like, you know, sometimes I'll post a meme and that shit'll do 2,000 likes. I'm like, yes, this one popped off. Like, people really, really like this one. But if you start thinking, okay, tomorrow I got to post one that's just as good, you can't predict.
No.
Yeah.
You cannot predict. I can remember one of the ones I made it was just so off the cuff. I don't know if you guys remember you remember the picture when Kanye went to the White House. All right.
Yeah.
He was standing. He had the MAGA hat on, and he was next to Huckabee Sanders, and it just this awkward picture of these two people who couldn't be from different places, and he just looked off. And I remember we were traveling. I was in Switzerland. We were laying in bed, and I saw the picture, and I was like, "This is like when the houseman wins Employee of the Month." Because they never quite know how to dress for the occasion. They always wear, you know, like, you know, them guys that got on the suit, but the suit jacket go down to their knees, and they never take the fitted cap off.
Never.
They never take it off. Like, they feel like that goes with the suit somehow. That's what he reminded me of. And I was laying in bed, and I made it, and I put it, and that shit blew up. Right? I couldn't have predicted that.
Right.
You know?
No way.
So yeah, and like, again, if I try tomorrow, okay, I got to find another one to do. It happened because it was organic, because it was just a natural joke, and it was like, boom, you know. So, you know, try not to get caught up in posting for likes and okay, well, you know, I have to do this. Again, the moral is just, if you're doing it and it's fun and it's organic for you, you're gonna grow, because people will be attracted to whatever you're doing.
Yeah. My thing is just posting in general. I just
he doesn't post like at all.
I don't know.
I'm just like, you literally have all the content. He has the archives, he has the video clips, the photos, everything, and he just doesn't post it.
I like putting it all together. It just when I don't know, when it comes to posting, I'm just like,
right.
I'll do it another time, and then I just never do it.
I mean,
well, I know somebody that might help you out. You know,
yeah.
I ain't gonna mention no names.
But I'll post again. Okay. I have like maybe 10, 20 clips and like a ton of pictures that I didn't even post yet.
And your Instagram looks like my Instagram part too. It's like pictures of me.
Yeah, I'm
pictures that he takes.
I have nothing to photograph, so
and then, she's here. I was looking at your page. I'm
wise man.
This is all me.
Nothing else matters except you.
No,
boy, that boy is smooth.
I'm not mad at it, you know.
Nice.
I guess we can jump into some segments.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Let's do it.
Cal, would you like to participate in shit I don't like today?
Oh, of course. I always got shit I don't like.
We'll hand the mic off to you. You can go first, my brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm at that age. Again, you know, the name of my pod is MIDLIFE Crisis, so it's called that for a reason. I'm at that age where it's like, I like music, I just not yours. Okay.
Right.
I don't want to hear that shit, man. Like, I'm just not interested. And last week, I'm sitting at home, I work from home, and these guys pull up in the FedEx, the Amazon, UPS trucks, and they blasting all kinds of shit. And listen, there's nothing against the specific music. I just don't want to hear it. I don't care what you're playing.
Doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah. And I was just sitting, most days you just sit there and you're just annoyed until like hurry up and go away. But he got to unpack, unload, and he's getting his shit ready for the next drop. And he'd be there for 15 minutes. I'm like, no. I can hear the whole album. No.
Right.
You know, So I definitely, I know you're a Kirby Enthusiasm fan. I went full
Yes,
Larry
yes.
David that day, and I said, you know what? I put on my mask, I put on my slippers, and I went outside in my sweats and my t-shirt. And I went downstairs, and I'm like, "Yo, when is this guy leaving?" I'm asking the doorman, and he's like, "Yeah, well, he's on his way out." I'm saying they're talking to the doorman for 5 minutes. He ain't left yet, so I'm like, "Nah, fuck this." So I go outside. I go outside. I don't see this guy. He's in the back of the van. So I have to get on the truck. I get on the FedEx truck, and I'm on this man's truck. And then I knock on the door, like I got to knock because I'm like, yo, he can't hear me. So I'm knocking, and he looks at me crazy. And I'm like, do you mind turning this down a bit? You know, this fool turn around and go, and then like shuts it off with an attitude. I was like, I know this. I had to take that breath, and I said, all right. I just turned around and I walked up. I'm like, yo, turn your music off. The whole neighborhood don't want to hear what you're listening to. I don't care how good it is. Okay, it could be the best song in the world. It reminds me of college when, like, I was in college when Renegade came out. You know, Jay-Z and Eminem.
Yeah.
Like, I got so fucking sick of that song after a week. And that album came out. Every room you pass was boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yo, I can't even enjoy the album myself. Like, so listen to your music for you, okay? I don't need to hear.
Yes. Yes.
So fuck you if you're playing music in front of my bro Kyle's house in your FedEx truck. Turn that shit down. Don't let him fucking knock on your door. Just turn that shit down. Thank you, Cal. Yadi, would you like to participate today?
Oh, yes. I got something.
Go for it.
So, in the spirit of social media, if you are posting a picture of some bomb-ass food, please tag the location. Okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out where I can get this chicken, you know, chicken and waffle with the strawberries, got the nice champagne, no location tags,
hold it out,
no restaurant. And then, sometimes, you know, I can't resist, and I'll reach out like, hey, where's this at? Oh, you know, I don't know, I don't remember, or whatever. Like, what? I'm trying to get some food too. Like, people feel like they're like, you know, I don't want to blow up my spot. This is my spot. Like, seriously, you're gonna eat everything in the pantry? Yeah. Like, tell me. Especially now, restaurants are, you know, struggling. Where can I order this food? Like, I'm not gonna ask you again.
Right.
So, to everyone out there, if you are thinking ever, let me post a picture of my brunch. Let me post a picture of this nice sandwich that I got. Tag the location.
Tag it, please. Thank you, Yadi, for that shit I don't like. I was just looking at my list here. I think I'll go with this one. You know, you know, pandemic, you know, we have to work out at home a lot, you know. Yeah. Fortunately, our gym has a Peloton in the basement here. So, you know, I'm getting active on the Peloton. So I really like it. I'm really engaged in it. You know, I love it. There's even this lady on there who curses at me and motivates me. She's like, let's fucking go. And I'm like, yeah. I took her class for the first time the other day. I was just blown away. I was like, I'm taking this lady's class every week.
You respond to that.
Yes, I respond to that type of motivation. But my shit I don't like with the Peloton is the leaderboards. I don't know, Cal, have you ever used a Peloton before?
I haven't, no.
So, you know, there's three things, you know, that they track. It's resistance, cadence, which is like your pace, and then the output's like those two together. And then on the right, there's like a leaderboard chart, and it tells you like where you're placed in terms of everybody who took that class before or who's taking it right now. So when I check the leaderboard, you know, I just scroll up to the top one time just to see what's going on. Yeah. And I'm usually in the mid section, you know, I'm like 50% or whatever, you know, of the group. I check the top, and you know, it was when I first getting started. You know, I took a beginner class. This motherfucker was like at the highest. He's like on 60 resistance. I'm like, bro, it's a 30 resistance class, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing all the way up there? Go in the fucking advanced class. And the 60-minute classes if you want to go fucking crazy. Don't take the 20, 30-minute classes with me and making us look like shit. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to fly through this shit, huh? Now, fuck you. You know what? Get the fuck out the room, bro. Fuck you. Man. So frustrating.
Oh, wow. You know, I don't even look at the board. I'm like, I'm here. It's all good.
You know, I try to look at it. You know, I was just curious. I was just like, yo, who's all the way at the top? What are they doing? What I got to do to get up there one day?
And now you're upset.
Now I'm like, yo, these fucking assholes take a beginner class when you know you're a pro. You know you're a pro. Get the fuck out the beginner class. Oh, man.
Oh man, that's hysterical.
We have to get these things off our chest.
Of course.
That's what this show is all about, balance.
Balance.
So I guess we could jump into our next segment.
Yeah.
We prepared 25 questions for you, Cal. Yadi will ask them. We'll set the timer for 3 minutes, and you can answer as many as you can.
You got this.
Let me just get our screen here ready. The timer will begin as soon as Yadi finishes the first question.
All right. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Switzerland.
If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
Wolf.
Nice.
I'm a big wolf person. We'll talk about that offline, but yeah, wolf is my spirit animal.
What is your favorite color?
Red.
Name the best TV show that you binge watched during a pandemic.
Tiger King.
What scares you the most?
Claustrophobia.
Name something that you've tried that you will never try again.
Chicken feet.
What was your first job?
Janitor.
Name one thing you can never give up.
Dessert.
If your life were a hashtag, what would it be?
Stay positive.
If you had to pick one superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Describe your life using one word.
Fun.
Name your biggest role model.
Biggest role model. Shit.
Pass.
That's yeah. Let's come back to that one.
All right. If you had to be one cartoon character, who would you be?
Homer Simpson.
What's the most useful thing that you own?
My phone.
What is your go-to food spot and what is your favorite dish there?
Oh, we go to this spot in Greenwich called La Scale. Great French food. They have these thin crepes with salmon on top, a little creme fraiche. Good brunch spot.
Nice. What is your favorite song right now?
Go by the Black Keys.
What is the first thing you would do if you won the lotto?
Buy a home.
What's your favorite season?
I'm going to go fall.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Just lay on a couch, watch TV, video games.
Use one word to describe how you're feeling right now.
Happy.
What chore do you hate doing?
Oh, folding clothes.
Have you ever had a nickname and what is it?
Decal.
If you had to pick one, which one of your 5 senses do you think you could live without?
I'm going to go smell.
What is the closest thing to magic?
Closest thing to magic. My marriage.
Nice. And then if we want to go back to the other one we have, what's the other one? Who's your biggest role model?
I don't know.
All right, so that's something to fill out.
Questions with Calvin TILOKEE.
Yeah. So you have some homework.
yeah, I got to think about that one.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yes,
it's been another monster pod. If you want to plug your Instagrams one more time, we'll put them in the comments for people listening. But if you just want to say them one more time, where can people find you?
Yeah, catch me at Ref Problems if you're into hotels and jokes. And if you're into off-color jokes, Midlife Crisis Podcast.
And we'll be on there sometime in March. We're going to record. We've actually never been a guest on another show before, so this should be interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got you guys.
Stick to close quarters, so
Yeah.
it'll be a good first experience with somebody I know. So that'll be cool.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun show. Looking
Very
forward to it.
excited.
If you haven't already, check out our website, wolfandunicorn.co. There's a little donate button there at the top. Just hit it. You can subscribe. We're doing $5 a month right now if you want to support the show. So check that out. We're gonna also open up another tier at some point this year, probably quarter two. We're going to give you a lot more exclusive, some free stuff, some free merch, things like that. And we're also working on our content creation coursework for those of you who have a brand and want to make your own content but don't exactly know where to start. So we'll show you what we do and a few things, and check it out.
Yeah.
And also check out our Facebook group, by the way, facebook.com/group/wolf and unicorn. If you want to chat with us there, that's probably the best place, or email us.
Right.
And
if you're an Instagram person, we are on Instagram at Wolf and Unicorn, and you can take a look at our content. And if it's something that looks appealing to you, maybe it's something that we can teach you how to do. You know,
exactly.
So follow us at Wolf and Unicorn.
All right. So as you all know, we like to end things on a positive note. This is where we hand the mic off to our guest and let them give you some inspiration, some guidance, some type of help to get you through your day, your week, your month. So here's a positive note from Cal.
Oh, I like that little intro music. I like that. Well, let's just say, I think at the core of everything I do is having fun, right? So, guys, it's really about how you take things. I'll tell a super quick story. Something I saw on Instagram about a couple of weeks ago. This woman who is Chinese moved to this country when she was 3 years old. She put a sticker up there, said, "Ask me anything." One of her followers asked her, is her husband as fluent in her native tongue as she is? The person obviously made the assumption that she spoke Mandarin or Cantonese natively. She got offended by this and blew this person up on Instagram in front of like 40,000 followers. And I think at the end of the day, it's how you take things, right? I think the person was asking an innocent question. I'll share a personal story. You guys that are looking at the video, you see me. My family is from Trinidad, right? I look Dominican. I know it. I admit it. Everybody thinks I'm Dominican. And when I go on vacation, I get real dark. I'm coming through Puerto Rico one time and heading back home after vacation, and I'm pretty dark. And the guy just starts speaking to me in Spanish. And he made the same assumption. And I had to tell him, I don't speak Spanish. This guy looks at me and goes, like I'm one of those uppity people who, I moved to the States, now don't speak Spanish, right? He made the same assumption, but I ain't let it ruin my day. You know what I mean? And I think we all gotta go away from that. People, just take life. Life is short. The old saying, don't take it too seriously. You never make it out alive, right? Don't let shit like that ruin your day.
Cool. Thank you, Cal, for that positive note.
Yes, sir.
It's been another Monster Pod. We appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yes.
We can't wait to record with you. So we'll talk soon. Anything else to add to this episode, Yadi, before we jump off?
I want to ask him a question.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite thing about working in the hospitality industry? That's me being shady, because I worked in the hospitality industry too. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to know.
You know what? I think the best thing and the worst thing is the same. It's the people. That's what makes the industry so fun and interesting, but also really irritating. Because, after working, I've worked at close to 9 or 10 hotels, and you run into the same dude a bunch of times, and that shit pisses you off. It's like, y'all all read from the same manual.
Right.
They all say the same things, and it's like once you see this personality, it's like, my God, you sound just like the last guy and the guy before him. I would say that's the worst thing. But and then from the guest standpoint, there's still people, but people act like hotels don't have rules. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, you don't act like that at home. You don't leave your room looking like that. You don't leave your house looking like that. Like, don't show up and because, I don't got to clean it, I don't got to worry about it, let somebody else do it. That's ignorant as fuck. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's probably the worst, because that makes life hard for everybody who's working there. We're hardworking people just like you. Don't act out just because you're paying for a room. That don't give you the right to do shit like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
What's yours?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I have worked in hotels, and I've worked front of the house, back of the house. I've worked in F&B, food and beverage. I've worked front desk. I've worked in human resources, and all day you are dealing with people, and it's just an exchange of energy. And some days you leave work and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. Like, you see 200, 300 people a day, and when majority of those people are unhappy or have complaints or tend to be nasty towards you, it's just like, what is this, But every now and then you have that one person who comes through and like says thank you and shows appreciation, or mentions something that you did for them a while ago, and it's like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? So same thing, the people. I mean, people need to learn how to act.
You know what? I'm going to counter that. I don't want to turn this into a hospitality pod, but I actually think it's the opposite. And I'll tell you why. Like, at some point in my career, we had to do these MOD shifts, the manager on duty, where you got to spend the whole weekend in the hotel, and like you're basically on duty this whole time. And it was early in my career when I got to the director level of revenue. So now you really start thinking of everything in percentages. And this hotel was about 450 rooms. I had 3 rooms that annoyed me the whole weekend, bothering me, claiming they had bed bugs. I'm like, sir, do you want to change rooms? No. But you tell me you got bed bugs? You don't want to change rooms? But he came looking for a discount. 2 other people complained. It's the same 3 people all weekend, but there were 447 other rooms that came in, had a good time, and just left. They paid their bill and they left. And I think as an industry, we spend too much energy on those 3 rooms. And that's not saying it's not important. Try to recover, do right by the guest, but we've become so focused on, oh, they're going to leave us a bad review, and they're going to shit on us on social media, whatever. And you spend all your energy on these people. But you know what? The 99% of people that come through have a good time. What do we do for them? Yeah. I actually think those are easier to remember because they're so vivid and they're so negative, and that type of stuff sticks in our brains a lot more. But you've got tons of people that come in, they're fine, they say hello, thank you, and we don't spend that same kind of energy on them.
Yeah.
That's true.
I agree.
Appreciate you. Been another monster pod, Cal. Appreciate your hospitality wisdom, and the memes, the jokes, all of it. We're gonna get you that Warzone dub.
I know, man. We on like season 5. I can't even get a dub. No,
if you're on during the day, we play early some days. Like around 3 or so. So we always, we got room for one more if you want to jump on, get these dubs.
I'll see what's up one of these days. Yeah, man. Like Modern Warfare came and went. They got the new one.
Yeah, they're already getting ready for the new Modern Warfare.
Yeah, exactly. I beat the campaign and everything. I still ain't got a Warzone dub, man. That shit ain't right.
Crazy, man. I'm gonna start streaming again at least once or twice a week at some point. So we'll be more active and we will get this dub.
The man has 5 Instagrams to manage.
You still got time for a dub.
You gotta make time. You gotta make time for a dub every now and then.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. It's been another Monster Pod. Peace.
Later, man.